One important key in teaching behavior is communication. We will be using a specific verbal marker to communicate to your dog. The exact moment when a desired behavior is performed, the reinforcement will quickly follow. To begin communicating with your dog, you must first load a verbal marker. This marker is first paired with something valuable, which is usually food, and by presenting the verbal marker, such as the word yes. You can use any word you would like as your verbal marker, just keep it consistent and use the same word every time. To begin loading your marker, you will need a handful of treats. If your dog is not inclined to stay near you at this point, you may want to attach a leash at first to keep them close, but when they catch on to the game, they will probably be much more willing to hang out close to you. You won't be asking your dog to do anything now. You will simply say your marker, yes, and then immediately present one of those treats. Repeat and mix up how you deliver the treat. Toss some on the floor. Give from your hand. Yes, treat. Yes, treat. You will know the dog is catching on when you wait for your dog to turn away from you and say your marker. If they immediately turn to look for where the treat may be, your dog is definitely catching on. Good work. At this point, they have begun to get the idea that your specific verbal marker is a precursor to something good, and you are on your way.
Yes. 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 Holly. Yes. 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 Yes.
One important thing to keep in mind that whatever you choose to use as your marker, it should only be used for training purposes. And if for some reason you mark at the wrong time or accidentally, your dog still needs to get reinforcement following the marker. Having that marker is a very powerful tool. If it is used improperly, it will lose its effectiveness. Another thing to keep in mind when using the marker is once a behavior is understood and on cue in all contexts, there is no need to continue using the marker. You can still reward and you can certainly praise, but the marker you have chosen to train with is reserved for teaching purposes only. If you find you need to go back and refine a specific behavior, then use the marker. But once any behavior is complete and finished, a marker is no longer needed. Once a marker is loaded and you have established an effective avenue of communication, we can begin working on some simple exercises to train your dog to focus and engage with you, instead of what might be more interesting elsewhere in the environment. These beginning exercises should be taught in low distraction areas, such as your living room or bedroom. This will set you and your dog up for success. To get your dog to focus and engage with you, we are going to play several games with them. The first game is called the up-down game and is very simple. First, take a treat. Put it on the floor in front of you. Your dog is going to eat that treat and then look back up at you. When they pick their head up to look at you, mark it. Put another treat on the ground and repeat. Your marker tells the dog that looking at you is awesome, and the next treat on the ground is the reward that followed your marker. I recommend playing this game frequently. You can most certainly use your dog's daily food to play this game as well.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Another game that you can play with your dog to encourage focus and engagement is called the name game or whiplash head turn. First, ask yourself, how well does your dog respond to their name? You might be surprised how often people mistake what their dogs really know versus what their dog responds to occasionally. Without intention, sometimes we can throw in some conflicting information surrounding our dog's name. Our tone and any unpleasant consequences associated with hearing their name can change their emotional response and cause some hesitation or avoidance issues. For example, you catch your dog getting into the trash can. You yell, "Oscar!" and then grab him by the scruff or pop him on his nose. Do you see how that could be confusing for your dog? In the same way that your marker has become a positive association, now your dog's name has become, at the very least, questionable. Along with name recognition and response, this exercise will also help in training a solid, strong recall. What I want you to do is to say your dog's name only once. The moment they turn their head to you, mark and treat. I want to continue to emphasize the importance of using cues sparingly. The reason for only saying your dog's name once is to build an immediate response to the cue. The more they hear the cue, the less meaning it is given, and you will find that instead of saying their name once, the cue turns into Oscar, 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 and then maybe your dog will respond after the third, fourth, or fifth time. Again, this exercise should begin in a non-distracting area for early success. Here is how you play the game. Say your dog's name. When they turn to you, mark and reward. You aren't asking them to do anything else at first. Just a head turn toward you wins the prize. Once they are successful in a non-distracting area, you can then take them to a little more challenging area, such as the backyard or on the porch, and work up to the dog park or other extremely distracting areas. Keep it fun and work this along with the other games, and you will see the difference in a very short period of time.
Mia. 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 Yes. Mia. Yes. Mia. Yes. Mia. Mia.
Finally, a hand touch is another way to keep your dog engaged and with you. This is a very simple exercise where you present the palm of your hand so that your dog will touch his nose to your palm. Most dogs will instinctively move toward your hand when it's presented to them. If your dog is hesitant, take one of those delicious treats and put it between your fingers. When they move in to sniff or take that treat, mark and reward from your other hand. Repeat a few times and then remove the treat from your fingers and try again, rewarding from the other hand. It doesn't take long for them to begin to catch on to this game. You don't need to name it with a verbal cue. The presentation of your palm is the cue. But if you want to give it a name, there is no reason you shouldn't. These are just a few examples of teaching focus and engagement through play. I want to let you in on a little secret that many people don't know. Rewarding your dog for desirable behavior will increase the chances of those behaviors reoccurring more often. Really, it's true. If you want focus, reward your dog when they are giving their attention to you without you asking for it. If you want calm behavior, reward calm behavior. Notice the things your dog is doing that you would like to see more of, and let your dog know that those behaviors have value. These desirable behaviors happen more often than you know. Unfortunately, as a society, we are hardwired to notice and focus on the negative, and when things aren't going well, we tend to take for granted when things are going well. Notice the good, reinforce it, and watch it begin to happen more often. Hi, this is Jill Powell, co-founder of Remnant Canine 360, with your dog fun facts for the day. Let's continue with our fun facts. Did you know that dogs curl up in a ball when sleeping to protect their organs? This is a holdover from their days in the wild, when they were vulnerable to predator attacks. The Australian Shepherd is not actually from Australia. They are an American breed. Human blood pressure goes down when petting a dog, and so does the dog's. There are over 75 million pet dogs in the United States, more than any other country. Did you know that dogs are not colorblind? They also see blue and yellow. Dogs have about 1,700 taste buds. We humans have between 2,000 and 10,000. When dogs kick backwards after they go to the bathroom, it's not to cover it up, but to mark their territory, using the scent glands in their feet. A recent study shows that dogs are among a small group of animals who show voluntary, unselfish kindness towards others without any reward. This is one fact us dog lovers have known all along. We hope you've enjoyed your dog fun facts for today, and happy training. Until next time.